what's up everybody? This is Reese here from C Manga and welcome to my review of Hajime No Ippo chapter 1042, How to Deal with the Second Arrow. So yeah, the hidden right has finally been unleashed. All the baiting that Alfredo was doing does kind of bring up one of Ippo, I wouldn't say major, but it is kind of a very noticeable flaw, is that he always leads with his head when he's dodging lefts, especially when he's doing his slips. That's kind of a really bad habit when you think about it, you know, because obviously he's aiming for the top. The top is a Mexican boxer with one of the greatest lefts in the world, you know. Obviously Ricardo Martinez, he has one of the greatest lefts. So this flaw right here, it seems like it's a really bad weakness. So I'm kind of wondering like whether Coach Kamigawa has actually realized it, or if it's kind of like an unexpected result of all the training he's been doing. It's like it must have been, considering the fact that Miyata has actually noticed it. You know, he is the one who's actually saying like, yeah, this is exactly what Ippo does. It's a really bad habit of his. So I'm guessing after this match they're gonna have to sort that thing out really quickly. Like obviously if he's gonna try to take on Ricardo. So speaking of this flaw though, it is kind of the second time that one of Ippo's kind of like main habits has been used against him. Obviously the first being with Kojima, the whole fact of like, yep, I know he's every time he starts up he's gonna come to the left and come up with a liver blow. So I'm gonna slam him as hard as I can in that first bit. So yeah, I'm kind of wondering whether after all this type of thing, you know, flaws being kind of like brought up, would he go for a kind of like Aoki level kind of training in order to break his habits? Obviously, you know, Aoki's habit was the fact that whenever a right straight came at him, he closed his eyes, so he had to face so many of them to kind of like keep his eyes open during that. So I'm wondering whether like Coach Kamigawa either try to break that habit, or will he try to like kind of compensate for it by doing a whole nother super thicken him up more. But yeah, back to the matter at hand. Obviously that hidden right, Ippo, he had no way of dodging that thing whatsoever, you know, so he kind of resorted to something which we haven't seen or even thought about in the longest amount of time. So obviously cast your minds back to when Ippo was preparing to fight Miyata for the very first time. This is after the whole kind of like in 3 months I'll have you defeated Miyata. You know, all the way back then. It's like, if you cannot dodge the counter, cut the power in half. And that's exactly what he did, you know. He knew that there was no way he could dodge that right, so he just basically moved straight in and took it. He just took a nasty blow straight to the like middle of his forehead. That's freaking disgusting, but heck, he basically survived that, comes back, bam bam, ready to fight some more. But yeah, I think the one who's kind of hurting the most out of that, I know Ippo's saying like, yeah, he feels really dizzy and stuff. Well, of course you would be, you got punched in the head. But Alfredo, man, this guy, to punch someone in their forehead, that must kill. So I wouldn't actually be surprised if the fact that, obviously he said his fist is numb, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's like either broken or even sprained. You know, something bad's happened to his hand, because there's no way you can kind of punch someone in the forehead and then come back from that just like, yeah, I'm fine, it's all just gonna wear off. Usually, you know, they're mash up. So like, for example, Ippo, when he was trying to fight Mashiba, and his Mashiba's there blocking with his elbow, Ippo broke his fist on that. You know, so I don't know. Even Itagaki broke his fist against Maya when he was like punching him, when he was like unleashing so many punches, he broke his fist from that. So yeah, I would not be surprised if his fist was broken. But anyway, finally, I must say the atmosphere for this fight, it does feel a lot kind of like, it just feels different. It's not the same type of atmosphere that Ippo usually has in his fights. It kind of reminds me of back when he fought Date for when he fought Date for the Japanese Championship belt. It's like the way how it is, the whole attitude is like, yep, I'm just gonna keep using everything I've learned. It's all about everything I've learned. That's what I'm gonna use to like make my way through. It's like usually Ippo says stuff like that, but it's kind of a bit more like, you know, I'm gonna try and practice this thing which we put into practice. But now it's like, yep, use all your experiences to date, use that to kind of like help you in this fight. It's like something that doesn't usually happen that much. And it kind of also surprised me just how quiet the coach has been, you know. He hasn't really kind of like said too much. He's all just like, that's right kid, just use everything you've learned, this is what you need to use. Just like show the world, you know, so just like be able to bring off one punch that will show the world who you are, that type of thing. So yeah, different to see him being so quiet. So yeah, other than that, next chapter, I'm hoping that Ippo kind of like goes in really hard on the offensive, seeing as how like I doubt Alfredo will try to use his right for a little while. He might try obviously use it for feints, but I'm doubting he's going to get anything proper out of that for a little while at least. So yeah, that pretty much is this chapter in a nutshell. second arrow, dirty little right, kind of backfired, old school tactics. It's quite nice. So yeah, that pretty much ends this chapter. I enjoyed it. Cannot wait for the next one, which I'm hoping is going to come out quite soon. So yeah, you know the usual, guys. Show some love. Let me know what you thought about this chapter with your comments below. As usual, enjoy the video, give it a little thumbs up, helps out a lot. And don't forget to check out the other stuff we do on the channel. So I'll see you next time.